If men's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would crumble. If women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would be fine.
In this video, you've been told that feminism is woman's empowerment. In this video, we'll show you why that is wrong, and we'll break down the actual point-by-point blueprint of why that is wrong and give you a solution to get you away from that type of sickening ideology. Allow us to dive in.
Oh, really? Who's going to raise all the children?
Do you think society discriminates more against men or women, or do you think it's equal?
I think that they discriminate more against women, but that's not to say that men aren't discriminated against in some aspects.
Okay, how are women more discriminated against?
As I've said before, in my own personal experience and statistically.
Other than, can we do something other than just people say mean words to me? Because men, by the time they're 22, somebody said a mean word to them. Usually it's a woman. So anything other than somebody said something I don't like.
Abortion bans. Can you name a law that controls what men can do and access healthcare and the healthcare that men can access? Mm-hmm. Is there any laws that control men's healthcare access?
Well, if you want to talk about men's body, men are required to go into selective service. So if there is a wartime.
So we'll break down real quick this abortion dialogue that those who are feminists love to bring to the forefront. The idea that an individual would want to go out and have an abortion, that is indeed their right, their choice. But to act as if this is not the actual killing of a child in its beginning is absolutely delusion. If you are to abort something, let's look at the word abort. If you abort something, you cut that off from existing, meaning it existed. And if you did not cut it off, it is likelihood that it will continue to exist. So in the case of a human life, when you cut a human life short by your own action, that is called murder. That is called a homicide. Maybe justifiable, maybe not. But this idea that you are doing something that is not the actual act of taking a life is delusion. But you have every right to do that. But at the end of the day, those feminists continue to push the narrative of a woman's body, her choice. This is true. At the same time, this same philosophy has detrimentally had an effect on the morality of women. And this is why these women are going out and pushing an agenda that if man had not come up with the birth control pill, these feminists who hate men, you wouldn't even be able to engage in the free sexual partakings that you like to participate in, many of you, when it comes to just being free and acting as if you were a man. But again, the feminists who hate men, most of them, you are the benefactor of, or the beneficiary of the pill that man has made so that you can go out and be as freaky as you want to be. Allow us to dive back in and allow this young lady to continue to speak. Well, both of these young ladies continue to speak. Allow us to bring them back onto the stage.
They are required to be drafted.
Yeah, and I think that the draft should be abolished.
So you asked for a law. There's a law. There's a way that women's bodies aren't protected. There's a way men's bodies aren't protected.
No, so it's actually, my question was different. My question was, can you name a law that restricts men's access to healthcare?
That restricts men's access to healthcare? No, not off the top of my head.
So there you go. That's one discriminatory
practice. How are women
practice.
Restricted access to healthcare? You can drive to another state and get an abortion.
Yeah, well, then that's also not taking into account like socioeconomic factors, right? Because not every person has the ability or the funds or the time to be able to just cross state lines to gain access. We shouldn't have different healthcare access in different states. Your geographical location should not determine your access to a human right.
Okay. Well, again, luckily for women, we have access to birth control, abstinence, and even you can even track your cycle and not get pregnant. So I think there's plenty of options beforehand that it really isn't an excuse if you have an unplanned pregnancy.
So my question becomes, what is a human right? What do you mean that is a human right? You have the right to not get impregnated by being abstinent. You have the right to wear protection. You have the right to, in some states, kill the seed. So how are you being denied the right to go and get the procedure done that you all want to get done? You mentioned their economic status. That's their fault. They should take that into consideration before they open their legs and have unprotected sex, and before they decide to allow that act to act and then try to kill the seed of the act because they don't want the consequences that come with the act. It's more of a moral, ethical thing going on within this freaky sexual freedom that many individuals are engaging in, but not wanting to take the responsibility of what comes from that engagement. They want the cake and eat it too, meaning they want to eat the cake. They want the cake, but they don't want the consequences that that cake brings about. You cannot eat and have the cake without the consequences. Allow us to dive back in to what it is that they're talking about, and we'll see if we can extrapolate some more wisdom from this conversation.
So actually about 50% of unplanned pregnancies used protection. And so that's just an incorrect statement.
Then you should learn to use it better.
That's
And
not
the
how
other
that
and
works.
the other thing is, after the kid's born, you could argue that it's an equally irresponsible move when men and women have unprotected sex or there's some problem with the birth control. Fine, equally irresponsible. But after, the woman has more control. She has the right to she's the only one who gets to decide if she takes a plan B. She's the only one that gets to decide to put him on child support or alimony if they're married. Men don't have a right to their wallets after the kid is born.
Yeah, so pregnancy involves your body and your internal organs, and that is worth more than any money.
Yeah, but that's 9 months, a year. What about the rest of the time? What about 18 years after?
Right. And so then there's like 2 years after that you're breastfeeding, and then there's the unequal division of childcare and domestic labor. So it's so much more than 9 months. But to go back, we cannot minimize that 9 months. Having your body be not your own for 9 months is 9 months too long.
Yeah, but there are men dying when they go and do their jobs, and
They
they're
can get a
not
different job.
complaining about it.
They can get a different job.
No, because men understand that somebody has to do it.
Yeah, they don't have to do it.
They understand. Well, that's why it's admirable that they do it anyway and they don't complain. And that's what I keep going back to, is what feminists tend to want is they want all of the credit and they want to over exaggerate their problems.
So again, we're listening to another young lady who appears to be delusional when it comes down to the actual biological differences between the male and the female when it comes to inherited social structures. The fact of the matter is this: the man and the woman must work together in order to perpetuate the species. There's no way around it. And in order to perpetuate the species, the woman must become pregnant, must carry that pregnancy full term in order to deliver the baby. The man has to be able to protect, provide, and build a society that accommodates not only the mother, but the child that is coming on to the earth. This is not gender roles created by society. This is the innate nature of the survival of the species. And this is why these feminists, they always jump off track. She had a decent point when she said that the 9 months that they're carrying the child, that it is difficult. She says it's not their body. You know, it is your body. That child is growing within you. It is part of you. You are a unit. You would not be here if your mother didn't carry you in her body. So it's her, you carrying the future of the species. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than your arrogance. It's bigger than your limited sight is or vision. Is bigger than you. And this is where the feminists fall apart. And this is why they are destructive to the structure of a viable society. They are destructive to the formulation of a strong family unit. They are destructive to the structure of society and the advancement of the society, because they believe that they can do it on their own. They couldn't even exist in many of these situations when it comes to the creature comforts that they have been able to get from a society, physically speaking, 99.9% built by the hands of men. And again, imagine a woman at 8-9 months trying to work on a house, trying to build a house, trying to build an office building, out there breaking up concrete to build highways, having to operate machinery that has to make sure you put the right pillars in the right places for bridges. Again, nature knows best. It is not that the man is better than the woman or the woman is better than the man. It's the fact that we are complementary pieces for the survival of the species. And these feminists have lost their mind. They are delusional. I'll leave you with this. If you were to have a society that was totally dominated by women, the women had to be the ones who protected the society. They're the only ones that are allowed into the armed forces. That society would be ran over by an invading society of men at any point. This is just the nature of the man and the woman at its core. And again, yes, some things can be combined, some roles can be altered, but the matter of the fact is this: nature knows best. It has nothing to do with a societal order, the patriarchy, or any of those things. Yes, that psychology came into play, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that men and women are different. They are uniquely different, and they both benefit society in vastly different ways, but also in a complementary way, in order to bring forth the best of society and in order to perpetuate the species. It is what it is. If you like the video, if you like what I'm doing, comment, subscribe, and have a beautiful day. Sending you peace, and like the video. Sending you peace, love, and prosperity. Peace.